Alex Answer here, December 24th, 2015. It is Christmas Eve. This is a brief message from me to you. This is not a call to arms against the U.S. government. This is a message to people with the ears to hear and eyes to see. There is an increase in attacks on not only Muslims, but non-Muslims, darker-skinned human beings that have been attacked by a demographic of white America that has been mind-fucked to think that it is being invaded by colored people from all different directions. It's also very sad, those Hispanics in the audience and others that are unaware that this is happening, that see all groups outside of their own as their enemy. And I speak to them now. This is a warning to Hispanics. This is a warning to Mexicans. This is a warning to Latinos. This is a warning to even white people with beards that think that they're not going to be affected because they're not a Muslim. The reality is, it is happening. It is happening. What I thought would happen is happening. I called it in January 2015 that we would see a rise in attacks on females, darker skinned females that are Muslim. We just saw a guy, a Donald Trump supporter, now Breitbart News trying to say he's a Hillary supporter. A Trump supporter was busted trying to blow up a mosque in Richmond, California. Did you know that Richmond, California, also the city council put a ban on space weapons because a large amount of their population is reporting some sort of electronic warfare, and that's what's happening to America now, and it's all being done to bring us down. Internal strife, and maybe they'll bring in lots of Muslims and then start blowing things up, blaming it on the immigrants, and then we'll see a Donald Trump was right meme. I mean, those of you that don't see this coming are dumber than snot shit. It's happening, and Alex Jones, who brought us great information to a point, but always race-baited and stayed in the white supremacy ideology. And now he is exposed for who he is and what he represents. And those of you that are white, that are in denial, that think this is all about your little land being invaded, they have gotten you set up for the biggest fall of your country's history. Because if they do this, if they pull the plug and have these false flags and put people into camps and lock people up because of their last names, including Hispanics, with names people don't understand in a country taken over by hysteria and evil spirits, because that's exactly what this is, and that's what racism is all about. Whoever you are and whoever you're directing at, you are an evil spirit if you have engaged in this racism. Don't blame things on the Jews. Don't blame things on the Muslims. Don't blame things on the Mexicans. Don't blame things on the whites. Don't blame things on the blacks. Don't blame things on the Asians. I am sick and tired of your crap. Prepare yourself for combat, because a day may come where you have to protect your girlfriend, where you have to protect your family, because there is a rise in violence in this country, and we are seeing the individuals in the media that are pouring the gasoline on the fire. And I will be silent no more. And if they do this and pull the plug, pull the lever, light the dynamite, the world will turn against America. And I've warned about this coming invasion by foreign troops. When our country starts blowing up countries like Iran, like Syria, and others, there will be a cascade event. And the SCO and all these other groups that I've documented for years, and the military drills with China and Russia, where the U.S. is the enemy. Watch how this develops. And if the U.S. goes in a certain direction, you're going to see the world powers demand that a coalition be formed to stop the United States from what it's doing. And so people that have been ignorant all this time and stuck in the racial divide game, they've done this on purpose. They've done this to keep us all enslaved. I've stood up for all races that have been persecuted in some way or another. In my 10 years since I've been doing this channel, I haven't got behind some of the mainstream movements like Occupy and some of the others, because of some of the rude behavior that I've seen from other people that, are rude to people that aren't socialists or communists. We need to be able to talk to each other, even if we have different political understandings. I'm not anything as far as libertarian, Republican, Democrat, and I'm not voting for any of those guys on either the Republican side or the Democrat side. Now, some of you may disagree with that, but that's not the point of this conversation. Attacks are increasing in this country. This is not a call to arms to fight the government. This is a wake-up call. Especially for those of you that live in major urban cities that have been ignorant all this time to all the mind control taking place. To infect people. To convince people that Mexicans are the enemy. That Middle Eastern people are the enemy. That white people are the enemy. You see these knockout games. You see the media promote it. And you see waves sometimes of attacks. Sometimes attacks on women of all different colors. Women need to step forth. Women need to step forth in this world. And do something, say something. Shame those that are engaged in this violent rhetoric that can lead to people getting hurt. But you would be making a very grave mistake for you paper tough guy patriots out there that think your gun is going to save your ass. How many of you are really going to pull out a gun and start shooting people and risk going on trial for murder when it's just self-defense against an assault? Because we know in this day and age that happens. It's one thing to have a gun. It's another to be physically able and not know how to throw a punch that can drop a guy. And then to follow forward with a right and then a hook. And to be able to hit hard and realize there's a reason why God or whatever the Creator gave us these knuckles, gave us these bones, gave us these kneecaps, gave us these shins, gave us a hard head. That evolution, regardless of where we came from, evolution through time, we've developed these skulls, these hardened skulls that are there to protect our brain. And I see a lot of men out there that are unaware, just like a lot of women, that we have been set against each other. There's too many people out there that have been so traumatized by being broke or feeling disenfranchised or feeling that one group suppressing them or not enough money or jealous about what someone else has. They're not even realizing that there's a bigger picture taking place. And hating individual groups or believing in supremacy, Hispanic supremacy, white supremacy, black supremacy, any form of Arabic or Asian supremacy, any form of racial supremacy. These things don't help us. They don't help us talk at the table. They don't help us figure out what's wrong. They don't help us reach a resolution. The illusions of separation, that is the archonic infection. People are so focused on an alien invasion, sci-fi channel. Look at what's happening to our human species. Look at what's happening to our lives. Look at what's happening to people across America. Look at how people don't see how this is race baiting. How we have been turned against each other. And when I came to Costilla County, I saw the racial divide, and it is a reflection of the larger picture. And then some people are saying derogatory things back to the Hispanic population in the comment section. I don't approve of that either. I wish we can all just come together and live off the grid and start our own community, but you know the truth and so do I. Most of us just don't get along enough, and a lot of people don't want to go off the grid. They want to stay in their little lives, their little world, and that's fine. But you need to understand, there's a change in the wind's direction, and it is strong. The force is strong at this time. And with the solar flares, and we had some major ones recently, these things are affecting people's minds. And I've seen dozens of stories of Muslims, Muslim women, being attacked, leaving mosques. And how do you think I feel being disowned? Because I'm not a Muslim, but I have an Islamic last name. But I was not raised by my father. And I did not allow my father to control me. And so my father turned the Ansars against me. Do you think they ever talk to me? They don't. At all. Because they, like a lot of people, can't handle the truth. The truth about 9/11 and the real perpetrators of 9/11. The truth about the genocide in Afghanistan and Iraq. The truth that some of their own family members are working as translators for the military-industrial complex. Do you realize how sick that is? To wake up in a world where it doesn't matter where someone's from. A lot of people in this country are being mind-fucked by this media, by MSNBC, by Fox News, the gatekeeping of Amy Goodman. All these people with their political and racial ideologies are helping destroy everything that was good about this country that we have been privileged enough to live in. And now they want to destroy America. And people that hate this country want to see Russia and China rise and kick our ass. And they don't even realize that the PSYOPs has them. And so you've been warned. You've been put on notice. You need to wake the fuck up and learn to protect yourself. That's all for now. It's December 24th, Christmas Eve. This is the only time in my life that I have ever put out a message like this. Alex Jones, you're gonna burn in hell.